So now we'll start with the first speaker, Lin Lifeng from Shanghai, China, Master of Architecture and Landscape from University of Pennsylvania, AAA member in 2018, was distinguished by Forbes Under 30 Elite, and in 2020 as an Asian Emergence Pioneers. We will discuss how to create space in rural areas and how to involve students and villagers in the construction with wood and bamboo. Welcome, Link. Are you listening me?
Hi, hello. Hello, thank you.
So the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. I'll start to share my screen. Can you hear me? Okay, good.
But I can see your screen.
Okay.
I am seeing your screen.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lifeng Lin. I am an architect from China, and I am the founder of Lin Architecture. Very happy to share my three small projects I did last year at this international conference. Because it is still the Spring Festival holiday in China, and I am in my hometown, so my network may some lags and delays. I hope you don't mind. I will share like 40 minutes about the project and leave 10 minutes for our interactions. And you also can contact me by email at lin@architect. Okay. This lecture contains three aspects. I will talk about the space, material use, and on-site construction. Here, you can see these three pavilions. They are quite small, right? Actually, they are like less than 50 square meters in size. Their morphological differences are relatively large. One is hyperbolic, and the other is single surface, and another is a double facade scheme. The one is made by bamboo, and the other two made by wood. The bamboo pavilion is built entirely on site, and I call it low tech. The remains are partly prefabricated and partly built on site. This is the okay. First, let's talk about this bamboo pavilion. Bamboo Pavilion has won many international awards, such as A+ Award, World Design Award, the Loop Award, actual, and also be reported by more than 50 medias and a website around the world. I guess you guys may have seen it on some website, right? This project is very environmentally friendly, and this is commissioned by a farmer in Shanghai. He's from Chongming Island. You can see the surrounding environment is very good, and there are crops, palms, and woods. So the farmer hopes the design or construction won't damage his farm environment, and also you can see the surrounding roads are very narrow, right? And it's very impossible to transport very heavy materials. Yeah, so we decided to use bamboo as our material. The first in the concept of this space, we mainly focus on the people's activities on the farm, and this farmland is open to tourists by the farmer, and many families with children come here on weekdays and weekends. So our space is mainly to create some specific spaces based on their behaviors, and we try to design two skills for children and adults, and we also have two different language in the form of the space to reflect our concepts. So you can see this in and out, the solid and void, and the enclosure of this space. In the inner interior of this space, and we also want to creation some like some gestures. You may say sitting, lying, leaning, hide and seek, even dazing, reading or chatting or something in this uh, in this in this space. So just as I said before, the farmer has very low budget within um, Chinese RMB like 150,000, and they also hope to build environmentally, and they hope the construction method won't damage the environment. Also, they want some surrounding villagers can also participate in this construction process. So we finally decide to use bamboo as the construction material. Let's take a look at some advantage of bamboo. Um, it can be cut, split, bent, dried, chopped, tied, curved, and crafted with our daily, everyday tools. And it is strong and lightweight, and can often be used without too much processing, polishing, and finishing. And it has a lot of construction elements, like cans, plank strips, laths, and belts. Um, Here are some pictures from internet. You can see, right? Actually, everyone can use tools, everyday life tools to operate bamboos. Uh, the hack saw, the axis, the drill, or the steel pot, and it is very easy to operate actually. Uh, you can use these different tools to make different structures, make different joints and actual. And you can also say the part of the bamboo itself can actually be many parts of bamboo can be used as the building materials. We can see the picture, right? The different parts of bamboo, such as cans, plank strips, lengths, and belts, are proceed into different counter materials. But at the same time, we also need to know the shortcomings of bamboo. Uh, Bamboo is subjected to attacked by fungi and insects. And for this reason, untreated bamboo structures are like a temporary with an expected life of no more than 5 years. Uh, Although bamboo has many of joints designs, but they are, you know, the efficiency is very low, and they also lack of design guidance and codifications. They don't like the woods and the concrete, the steel we used. Yeah, so this is some of this weakness of bamboo. Uh, we we can see the physical properties of bamboo. They if affected by many conditions: the climate, the topography, the soil, the attitude, and the cutting cutting treatment method, the age, even the part of the skin. So we need to have a standardized process to go before we use it. Here some picture shows in the factories how we cut, dry this bamboo, and the chemical preservations and the storage. So we need this standardization process to meet the like the build standards, such as the construction during dry, the resistance in compression and the tension, the modulus of electricity, and the performance in fire, even the earthquake resistance. You can see this from this chart. Difference the difference of the length, the cut through section diameters affect a lot to this bamboo force. So this is this is some basic materials property of bamboo. And let's go to the construction process on site. Because this the bamboo were totally built on site, so we had a very strict schedule uh, of timeline and the work possibilities of participants. And even though we have designed some material, some drawings and construction details in advance, but we find we need a lot of adjustments on site. I will talk about from these three small parts: the material processing, the structure construction, and the facade construction. So first, let's talk about the bamboo processing. Um, we actually proceed about 400 bamboos from NG country in Zhejiang province, and we logging and screening them and to in this bamboo factory and select the parts that we can use. And after a series process, it took us about 10 days to transport the bamboo to the site. You can see from this picture, right? The workers on the in the factory, they are like they're drying the bamboos and they are doing some chemical preservations, and they are like use smoke to drying this bamboo. It's funny because we first meet bamboo, we thought we can use these raw materials, but finally we found that it should has a lot of process to make. You may know a lot of local villagers. They use the raw bamboo to build the house, but it doesn't exist too long. They like use 4 or 5 years the house broken. So it's very important to make like a chemical process before we use this bamboo on site. So here is some workers, they smoke to make the bamboo dry, and they cut and to use the other material. This the second part is the main structure and the secondary structure. The very first step is how to fix the position, right? You can see from this diagram, and we use a lot of curves, so we can't use this traditional grid system to make our position. We design a lot of like circles and different circles to help us to make this position. Here are some students and farmers. They are operating this place on site. Second, after these positions, we are trying to make the main structure and the secondary structure. the primary structure actually is the is consisting of nine bamboos with the diameter of 22 or 12 centimeters. And the other pavilion, because the secondary structure, this is the main structure, and this is the secondary structure. After the secondary structure helping us to locate the position, and it can be removed after the main structure done. This is the foundation process. We make the foundation use the concrete, and each pit of the main structure is about 30 centimeters by 50 centimeters in size, and then 60 centimeters in depth. After 2 days, when the concrete was dry, and we could do the rest of this work. There is a little interlude. When we encountered a very strong wind, so we had to make the adjustment to bamboo after we back to the site. Some wind just blow off our secondary structures. The next part is the connection and fixation. Actually, we designed some construction details in advance. You can see from this diagram, right? We need to think a lot about these details, how the construction basement stick to the main structure, and how the main structure and the secondary structure connect to each other, and how the secondary structure connected to the surface, and how the surface themselves to connect each other. So there are a lot of drawings we should design. Here is the diagrams we did about the research of these bamboo drawings. You can say the most important aspect of bamboo construction is the formation of the joint, right? Because the joint transfer force from one element to another, given the cans have a hollow round section, and the parts between their nodes only have longitudinal fibers. So cans cannot be joined the same manners as wood does. Now here are some different parts of this structure we made, and to suit for the joints. And this is use belt, and this is some steel. So on site, you can say we use this everyday life to make these joints. Use different tools. So it's a very, I think it's very easy to participate with everybody. It's very easy to operate. The final part was the form shaping and the facade constructions. After we build the main structure and the secondary structure, we began to locate the facade. This, you can see the workers, they are using the measuring rules to locate the facade structure. And then on the right picture, you can see this is the final stage before we weaving the facade. And this is a very particular interest process in our design, because you see this shape, right? it has the how call it curves like a hyperbola, and so we use the method of heating to bend the curve from two directions, and the reductions of the shape is very high. You can see we are using this fire to bend the curve, and we we change another angle to bind to bend these directions, and we actually left very like many hit marks in our walls, and in the different bending cases, we designed some nodes to specific to make the curve look more continuous. So the whole continuity is actually made up of several pieces of bamboo. It's not just a very long stick of bamboo. And also to shape this facade, we also use hand cut to polish this top. You can see the worker just remove the extra second structure to make this curve more consistent with the concept. So you can see this is our main structure and the second structure. When it's done, we take picture of two angles. And in front of these structures, you can see a lot of the bamboo slides, right? This is for the, actually this is for the facade. Vivian bamboo facade is a very interesting part actually. We spent 1 day to design these patterns. We made a lot of patterns, the triangle, squares, hexagon actually, but finally we found it's not beautiful when we they're not beautiful. When we made by hand, the irregular the pattern is very phenomenal. So here is the final facade textures by hand. We don't design it. We just do it on site, and we just let it go, right? And you can see these nature textures. It's a transparency, the light and the shade, and the artificial contraction. I called low tech gave us very unaccepted results, and I think this can be done by industrial styles. This is we also think about the lighting because there are many activities on the farm. They are at night, such as gathering, barbecues, dancing, or game something. So light is a very important factor for us. We treat light as a formation element. It helps us to apply the beautiful curves. And this is another angle from other side, and you can see the facade, right? You can also see the space we created from the bamboo. It's not a single facade. It's like a double facade, and we hide the space between these two facades. And this is another angle from the north. There is a guy trying to take picture of this, and you also can the light shape our form and outline these beautiful curves. So how about the daily life around the pavilion? Soon after it was built, and we make a return visit to the farm, and we took some picture of everyday life. you can see this picture. These two, this actually these children are all farmers' son, and they often play hide and seek here. It's very interesting because this people's participation gave us the space more possibilities. You know, when we design the space, we don't anticipate this kind of activities, but this child gave us these opportunities. And this picture took last year Christmas. The farmer and the tourists are doing activities on the side of the building. They set up some small Christmas markets just in this pavilion. And they use the pavilion as a space. They call it a social generator. Do you remember the site? It's a very open field. After these buildings, it creates some spaces for people to gathering. I think this is the most important for us, and it's not, because it is made of bamboo, so it's quite nice, and it's quite friendly, and the people like to gather here. So all in all, bamboo pavilion is a very good no, but bamboo is a very good building materials with many advantages, and I highly recommend using bamboo as a temporary building because its life only for like 5 to 10 years, so it's mostly used as a temporary building. When the building dies, you can also burn the bamboo or use bamboo as another material. So this recycle is very friendly. It don't have many trash actually. You also can see this on-site building. We we don't have many trash after built. It's very clean. So this is about the bamboo pavilion. I will give a quick introduce to this wood pavilion. Did last year actually. One is the single curved surface, and one is double curved, double facade, and they both made by wood and steel, and they are prefabricated. Some of the material are fabricated in the factory, and some are built on site. Why I call it half low tech and half high tech, because we need in this project, we try to study how the light well in the left picture, how light well introduce light to the buildings, and how people interact in this building. So we need the form and the shape strictly accurate, because the sun's angle, right? And we so this part of the material we need to prefabricate it in the factory. But this light well in our design, when we try to use this as a light tunnel, and they actually we redesigned inside on site, because you can experience more like more right nature, more right nature when you actually stay inside, like in a week. You can sense the humidity, you can sense the site, you can sense the wind. So part of this done on site. We let the factory process our wood, skin wood material and the main structure. we buy like we buy like 500 piece of this wood, and eight I think 80 to 90 structures elements for these two pavilions. But during the transportation, some of these shapes were deformation deformated, so uh, we we revealed it on site, and we revealed like the half part of this structure, steel structures. And the color, yeah, the color of the wood lacquer is also prepared on the side with the pigments, and we because the humidity and the temperature, they are um, very important to this color. So we decided uh, to take this color on site build, and because of the structure uh, components and the wood facade components were prefabricated. So this pavilion, the construction process is quite like a short. We finished the mainly structure and the secondary structure like in 4 days, right? But the wood the bamboo pavilion, it lasts like 3 weeks. So this is the comparison, yeah, of these two pavilions. And when you can see after we build that, uh, you can see the shape, right? The shape and the exterior and the interior, the slice and the window cut is very accurate because the structure and the wood are prefabricated. But it also, you can see the handmade part, the the color of the facade, right? It changes according to the environment of the it change it change according to the climate of the environment. Uh, if it is sunny, rain, it has a lot of different colors. This is unexpected before we design, so we kind of like this handmade part. So, and this is the green blue pavilion, and it also published in Archideli. You guys may see it on the internet. This is the red wood pavilion, and also you can see the interior, the exterior shape is strictly accurate, right? But the facade, right? The facade is like the green blue pavilion. It also has this marks left according to the surroundings. This is very unexpectable. So I think this is the beauty when you build on site, right? And I want to talk about these three pavilions. You can see because this is shape, this construction, these materials are different, and the bamboo pavilion is mainly built on site, and the nothing prefabricated actually. Just the transportation. Before transportation, we try to clean it, use some chemical protection. This is that's the only part we deal with the factory. But the wood pavilion, the steel, the wood, we need to prefabricate it to make our shape accurate, and also on we have some on-site process to deal with the lacquer of the facade. So I think this is very different. Um, I find through this small project, I find an interesting part. Although bamboo pavilion, the material is very cheap actually, but workers expensive are very high. In China, I think in Europe it's more right. But the wood pavilion, the material expense is high, but the worker only stays on site to 4 or 3 days, so the expensive is low. So it's a very funny parts I found. And this is I want to talk about the low tech and high tech. I think you can for bamboo pavilion, the material is environmentally friendly, and the construction process is friendly, and when it's die when it's dead, right? You can also use bamboo to remake something. But for wood and steel, right? The when the build when the building dies, you barely not can use them. So this recycle method is very different. Yeah, here is what I want to share with you guys about these three small projects. Yeah, and very thank you for your listening. Uh, do you guys have any questions?
Hi, Lin. Thank you
Yeah,
for the presentation and for the repeats too. So, who have question in the room? We have a question online, so
Se quiserem fazer em português, nós traduzimos, não há, se tiverem vergonha, está à vontade. So Lin, maybe the public is shy here in the room. We have a question online from a viewer. So his doubt is mainly if bamboo is only good for 5 to 10 years because it will be rotten after it. Is there a solution or a way to manage this? So do you see a solution for this temporary aspect of the material? Can it be permanent or not maybe?
yeah. Before you use bamboo, you should do some chemical protections, and the procedure depends on how many years you use. Normally, we can use like 5 to 10 years, but if you very well before you using it, it can last 25 years. Yeah.
okay.
Okay, perfect. So, any questions here? Still shy. So, I have a personal question. It's more about the bamboo pavilion mainly, but maybe for the three of them. So, obviously, you are building in these very rural interior places, and well, the shape of the buildings are not very traditional. So I wonder how the local community looked at them. So when this crazy organic bamboo pavilion shows up in the middle of the forest, how the villagers watch it and how they react to it, and did they accept it? Did they, were kind of intrigued? So what could you tell us about this?
Oh, you say this actually society is nothing. It's just the nature elements, right? So before we design, we also consider how we get this concept from like a cultural context, but we find nothing. It's just an island, yeah. So
Okay.
we decided to use these organic shapes to create to more species, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. I don't have.
Yeah, well, I still have some questions. I think we have time still for
Yeah.
ecological studies. So, if I don't know if anyone here has a question. No, still shy. So, well, we could watch on your presentation and the pictures that the bamboo pavilion was very manual work and with very specific nodes and construction. Do you think we could adapt this material to a somewhat industrial production, or does this even make sense? To use this natural material in an industrialized, standardized system? Do you see this happening?
Actually, it has. I saw some factory, if you use the bamboo with the concrete, you should pour the concrete into the bamboo to make it more force, forcible to suit this construction. So it has this industrial process to deal with the bamboo with the concrete.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think actually we have another online question, and it will kind of
It's similar.
similar to this, because we have Ivan Jimenez who asks if well, bamboo is great for organic farms due to its structural capabilities and the way it works. And he asks, how can we use it in more formal architectural forms? Well, maybe, as you told us, combined with concrete.
Concrete.
But I don't know if you see it work as a rigid structure, or it simply doesn't adapt.
I saw a lot of South Africa country when I traveled in India. So there are a lot of organic forms. Yeah, if you Google some bamboo house in India or some South Africa, South Asia, you can see a lot of organic forms. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even no, today afternoon we'll have
Today.
Yasmin Larry talking to us, and she will also show how bamboo can be used in constructions.
Yes.
So, any questions here in the audience? No?
No.
Well, Lin, I think
Thank
we
you.
end it here. We know it's the new year in China, so thank you for taking some time from your holidays, and enjoy the rest of it, of course. And thank you very much for being part of Build and to be with us and sharing your work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Lin.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.